Well, hi everyone. My name is Jose Andres Beltran, and I'm going to explain the sintering effects on the microstructure, structure, and the electric properties of doped BNATO ceramics prepared by solid-state reaction method. Well, as we can see in a way of introduction, we can see the ceramic composed of bismuth, sodium, titanium trioxide. We are going to call it BNT, turns out to be a good candidate before the ban on lead in electronics. Its crystalline structure will be studied by the X-ray diffractometry analysis, and its composition will be observed by scanning electron microscopy. Finally, its dielectric behavior will be studied with the LCR meter bench equipment. It will be subject to different sintering temperatures to analyze the changes in its physical, electrical, dielectric properties, and its crystalline structure are the main object of study. With the help of the X-ray diffractometry equipment, the scanning electron microscope, and the LCR meter bench equipment, we are going to be able to solve these the main objectives that I'm going to explain you. We have like the main objectives for they are the synthesis of the compound BNT will be carried out through the solid state reaction, and it will be subject to different sintering temperatures. Characterize the crystalline structures of the samples with X-ray diffraction. This is going to be the XRD. Then analyze the structure and microstructure using the scanning electron microscope, or we can call it SEM. Then they study the electrical and the electric properties of the ceramics. So we have now the experimental way. First of all, we have to make the mix of the reagents. So to make this, we have to make the wet and dry grinding for 3 hours with the use of acetone, because it's like a fluid that it will help to the grinding to be better. Then we have to make the preparation of the pellets or the pills. Now, but we are going to use a hydraulic press with a pressure of 2.5 tons for 1 second to make the preparation of these pellets or pills. Now we have the pills already done, but now we have to make the calcination at 1000 degrees to make the solid state reaction happen. Now, to verify that the reaction was successfully, we have to make an XRD analysis. So after that, we have to make the preparation of other pills, because to be read with the XRD analysis, the pills have to be in powder. So we have to prepare another set of pills or pellets to make this the sintering at 1050, 1100, 1150, and 1200 degrees. We have to prepare 4 different pills, and we are going to sintering at 4 different temperatures. We are not using one pill to go from the 1050 to the 1200. Now we have 4 different pills and 4 different temperatures. Then, to study the changes that they occur during the sintering, we have to make the XRD and SEM analysis, and finally the dielectric analysis. So, in the experimental techniques, we use some techniques and equipment like the X-ray diffraction, solid state reaction, the electric measurements, the SEM, and the EDS, to make sure that everything is in the final powder, or the final compound was completely making. So in the results and discussion we have in the figure number 1, we can see how shows the X-ray spectrometry when it was mixed and crushed for 3 hours and put it in the oven at 1000 degrees. So based on the bibliography, the XRD pattern obtained is similar, so the soft phase was obtained. Now we can see at the figure number 2 how the single phase formation for BNT was achieved. This happened when we calcinated at 1000 degrees using the solid state radiation route. The sintering temperature maintains the same structure up to the 1100, but structural phase transitions were observed from 1150 to 1200. Highly oriented ground, this is the high intensity peak as we can see in the figure number 2, was observed for samples sintering at 1150 and 1200. Now in the figure number 3, we can see the dielectric properties in general, how they are improving with the sintering temperature. However, samples sintering at 1150 degrees showed the best properties. The Curie temperatures change with the sintering temperature. The dielectric loss in such samples is very low, which is an important factor for device applications, which is the main object of study of this paperwork. Now we can see at the figure number 5 that it's clear seeing that with increasing temperature, grain growth increases, and for higher temperature, the grains start to melt and achieve a new phase as supported by our XRD results. We can see we have the 1050, 1100, 1150, and the 1200. We get those images from the SEM, and comparing with the XRD patterns comparison, we can see that at the temperature of 1150 and 1200, there's a change in their microstructure. We can see it a little bit from the SEM, and from the XRD patterns we can see here how the change is very clear from the other ones. And here we can see there's at this temperature of 1150, that it's when the change occur, we can see they are starting to melt and change their grain size. So in a conclusion way, we can say that the solid state radiation method was the ideal method. X-ray spectrometry confirms the crystal structure of BNT when it's calcinated at 1000 degrees. When analyzing the sintering of the 4 pellets at 1050, 1100, 1150, and 1200 degrees, from the 1150 there was a change in the crystalline structure. The grain size increases and some grains begin to melt, causing the phase change, as we can see from the XRD pattern here and from the same images. So sintering at 1150 proved to have the best dielectric constant, accumulates the highest electric charge without allowing the passage of current at temperature of 15 degrees. Likewise, it presents the highest electric loss compared to the rest, with temperatures close to 350 degrees. The dielectric loss reached the highest value, approaching the value of 1.1. The dielectric loss in such samples is very low, which is an important factor for device applications. That was the main object of the paperwork. So we can say we achieved our goals. So that's it, and thank you for listening and for your time. Thank you very much.